Welcome to this demo of the Pimcore Portals. The Pimcore Portals are our way of exposing the data that is maintained within the system to people that do not necessarily need or want to use the PIM or DAM or MDM in itself. So people that just need limited access to the assets that are maintained within the PIM, DAM, or MDM space. So it can be agencies, it can be suppliers, it can be resellers, it can be wholesalers that have access to a custom assortment, people that actually just need the data or the assets out of the system without having the need of actually entering your PIM or MDM or DAM. This way, you can actually share that kind of data with people that are not eligible, for example, for actually entering your internal systems and exposing that to a broader public. It also helps you to actually intake data. So it is also possible to add, like, if you're working with media agencies, for example, that are producing product shots, they can directly upload them to the portal and then they get under the version control of the asset management. So without any further ado, let's jump into the portals and take a look at what we're doing there. So the portals are, of course, secured, so not everybody can be using them without creating the credentials first. This process can be handled either way. So you can either have the portals completely open to the public. That is something that's possible, like for a public press portal, for example, or like investor relation portals, where you just have to expose kind of data towards an anonymous user group. If you have something more specific, like customer specific assortments, or you want to share like product lists to retailers or to suppliers or something like that, then of course this has a need for credentials on top of that. You can also have like a customer self-service so that they can register themselves on the portals directly, or you have to add them manually to the user roles and rights management. So let's jump right in and log ourselves in. No, that didn't work. Here we go again. And I switched the language to English right away. So of course the portals are also supporting complete internationalization and translation of the portals, of the content. So what we see here, or what we have here, is basically now the same data that we have within the system itself as well. So we can access our assets, we can access our costs, we can access the manufacturers, and the event data that we have within the system. So everything that we have in the system as a structured data object can be exposed through the portals. It can be the products, it can be something out of the MDM space like our events, it can be the assets basically. And what you can do here, and this is fully configurable. So everything that you see here, from the colors to the logos to the content that is displayed here, is fully configurable. So there's no code needed. This is something that just falls out of the box and can be directly configured. So what we can do here basically is, for example, entering our asset area. So this is all of the assets that we have in the system. They can be filtered by metadata information. They can be filtered by the cars that they are associated to, the different types of images or the different types of assets that we have within the system, the usage. So is it something that we use for social media? Is it something we use for online? Is it something that we use for print? This can be done here. So everything that we have from an information perspective on the metadata level of assets within the asset management can be used here for filtering and sorting. What you can do here, for example, is as well getting into various cars, for example, going back to our E-type, we see all of the images that are related to this very car. So what we could do now, for example, is selecting all of them. Now we have the 7 items selected, and we can do a couple of things here. So one is we can build up a collection. So what we can do is basically, so the collections are essentially just collections of various assets that we can build but for our needs. So if we have we want to have all of the images that we need for creating a specific leaflet for a specific calendar week, or that we need for actually rebuilding a landing page or whatever, this can be a collection that can be stored and shared within the system. So I can do the selection, send it over to the people in the media agency, and they have access to it. As soon as I add something, of course, it's added in the collection, and therefore they have all of the assets that are necessary in a live environment. We can add them to a download card, basically. So if it gets to more sophisticated use cases, if I need more assets, maybe for various courses or for various things that I have, then I can do a new selection, adding them to a download card. I can directly download them. I can edit them. I can move them. So there's also a file structure basically behind that. of course, I can move around my assets here as well. Or I can publicly share them. So this is basically generating a publicly available share link to the portal for basically everyone in the outside world. So you can get rid of like WeTransfer links or I don't know, OneDrive links, sending them around, making sure that the assets are available. This can also be turned on and off by configuration. If we're downloading them either from the collection, from the download bucket, or directly, we can do that, and we see that we get a couple of things that we can select here. So we can say, okay, we want to include the metadata of all of the assets as well, so that we get like the different licenses and everything on top of that as well in a CSV file. And we can select that we want to have all the assets. So now we want to have all the assets of the Jaguar E-type. We can say in which configuration we want to have them. So those are the different viewports that we have to find within the system. So the different sizes of the thumbnails. Like is the original one, is it the one for print? Is it the one that needs to somehow in a different format? We're just sticking with the original one, saying download, and what the system now does, basically preparing the download bucket, that you can see here now. So the download generation has been finished. I can download it. Sure. Download is done. Download opens. And I'm getting into the folder. And I can see here now I have all my Jaguars now downloaded here. So I have all the images available. And I have the direct list basically of images available here. So this can be done basically by doing that. From a configuration perspective, so what do people see here, or what the user sees here, so which kind of assets are available, and which kind of image sizes are available, and so on and so forth. This is all, again, configurational, configurable, so you can basically switch also the number of assets that they can see, the type of asset that they can see, and so on and so forth. So you can also open up a certain image. So you see the image, you see all of the attached information to the image. You can also see, I need to move myself again. You can also see the workflow state of an asset. So this is now in the start place of the workflow. You can also start the workflow directly from the portals. Again, this is something that's very useful if you are working together with media agencies doing packaging shots or something like that. Because they can upload new assets, and they can also start the approval workflow right away and work within that. So we can do that here, and we see now, okay, this is now in a different state, and we can now finish the review and so on and so forth, depending on the user rights and roles, obviously, as well. So this is also something that we can do from right within the portals. We can also access the metadata based on the images. So we have a custom set of metadata attached to it. So we have like the author mentioned, the link to where the image is from, the license that is behind it, the card that is the card that is linked here. So we have all of the various things here available as well, and we also have access to the version log. If there are more than one version, basically we can see them here as well. So this allows us basically to relay that information quite easily, just by a matter of configuration, basically. We can do the same thing more or less for the cars as well. So this is how we list all the cars. I have now access to all of the cars. Again, I can filter and sort by different manufacturers, by different colors, by different countries, basically, and just go into that and figure out all of the cars and the data of those cars basically directly onto that. If I open a car, we can go in here and we see basically all of the information that we have available on the car, as we have them in the system as well. So this is now my data that we see here. So with the name, with the description, if it's filled, and of course we also have the media data available here. We have all of the technical attributes listed here as well. So this is all accessible basically. Also the sales information is accessible from here. We also see like the different versions available here. We can also compare versions with each other so that we see what has changed here over the course of the different versions as well. What we can do here as well, and also from that perspective here, from the listing, is again, we can do the same things that we had on the asset portal, so that we can say, okay, we want to save them in a collection, we want to save them in a download bucket, or we want to directly download it, or we want to publicly share it. So what we can do here is maybe going back to our Jaguar, as we had that as our one-size-fits-all model. we can say we want to download it. What happens is that the system is now asking me, okay, let's maybe quickly go back to the Jaguar. We see that we have a couple of media data assets here actually. So this is flipping through 3 of those images, and there is also the generic image attached to it. So we have a bit more of sales information, a bit more of media data here available on that car. If we are downloading that car, we are asked by the system, okay, what kind of information do you actually want to expose, right? So we are asked if we want to expose the structured data of the car and with format. That formats can be defined within the system, so it's also configuration. Can be defined one so that you have like the set of information that you want to expose within that file. Can be CSV, can be JSON, can be XLSX, whatever you need to have there basically, and how you want to structure that. You can also say, okay, I want to add all the gallery images and I want to add all the generic images. So all of the imagery of the car is included there. If I hit the download button, system again does something and gives me the download already. So it already happened. So let's go. If we are looking into that, I can move myself around again. What we see now is that we have this zip file now with 4 images attached to it. So if we take a look here, this is one of the images that we've seen before. So this is the generic one. This is the E-type in white. So those are the images that we had here in this list as well. So this is this one, this is that one, in full-fledged resolution basically. And of course, we also have the structured data with this quite unformatted as a CSV, but it shows up like that. So we have the CSV file here with the comma-separated file. We have all the information listed here. So this is the E-type, this is the description text and different languages available here as well. So we have all of the information that we have for the product or for the article itself available here. So this is basically how we can share product information really simple in a really simple way as well to various user groups basically. We can do that with all of the data that we have in the system. So it's also possible to do that for the manufacturers, for example, or for the event data, which is just structured data again. The data that we are exposing here, so how it looks like, what kind of data is shown here and how it's shown and how that is working out and displayed is also completely configurable. So this is what we call custom layouts that can be defined on the data modeling side basically. So again, just configuration. And you can move around elements, you can omit elements, you can change elements and so on and so forth as well on those various views. So this is something that is also possible. Just reflecting on the different states or just reflecting on the different means of accessing data basically for different users. So this is again something that can be done on a user level as well. So that if certain users should only see a certain language, should only see a certain set of fields, this is something that can be done here as well. This could also be used for exposing like supplier data, exposing customer-specific assortments or supplier-specific assortments so that they have just access to whatever they ship to you. So having said that, I think that covers basically the basis of what we are doing within our portals. Thank you very much for watching. Hope that helps.